Bucky was not your ordinary sailboat. Unlike the other boats docked at the harbor, Bucky was small and brightly painted with vibrant colors. His mast was adorned with colorful flags that fluttered in the wind, and his hull was polished to a shiny finish. Though he was tiny compared to the other boats, Bucky had big dreams. He longed to sail the vast ocean and explore the world beyond the harbor. Bucky spent his days tied to the dock, watching the bigger boats set sail and return with tales of grand adventures. He listened intently as they recounted stories of far-off islands, fierce storms, and encounters with magnificent sea creatures. Every night, as the harbor quieted down, Bucky dreamed of the day he would embark on his own adventure. One sunny morning, as the harbor buzzed with activity, Bucky noticed a commotion near the lighthouse. He saw a young boy named Tim, a seasoned sailor's son, arguing with his father. "Please, Dad. Let me take Bucky out for a sail. I know I can handle him," Tim pleaded. Tim's father, Captain Gray, shook his head. "Tim, Bucky is too small for the open sea. It's too dangerous. I can't let you risk it." Tim's shoulders slumped in disappointment. He had always believed in Bucky's potential, just as Bucky believed in himself. As Captain Gray walked away, Tim approached Bucky and patted his hull. "Don't worry, Bucky. One day, we'll show them what we can do," Tim whispered. Chapter 1: The Unexpected Opportunity. A few days later, a fierce storm hit the harbor. The wind howled, and the waves crashed against the docks with relentless force. Boats bobbed and swayed, and the sailors worked frantically to secure them. Bucky, being small and light, was tossed about more violently than the others. As the storm raged on, Tim and his father struggled to keep the boat safe. Suddenly, they heard a cry for help. It was old Ben, the lighthouse keeper, who had been trying to secure the lighthouse's beacon. "Help! The beacon is about to fall," Old Ben shouted over the howling wind. Captain Gray and Tim exchanged worried glances. The beacon was crucial for guiding ships safely to the harbor, especially during a storm. But the waves were too rough for any of the larger boats to reach the lighthouse. Without hesitation, Tim turned to his father. "Bucky can do it, Dad. He's small enough to navigate through the waves. Please, let me take him." Captain Gray hesitated, but seeing the determination in his son's eyes, he nodded. "Be careful, Tim. And take care of Bucky." With his father's approval, Tim untied Bucky and hopped aboard. As soon as he raised the sail, Bucky sprang to life, his colorful flags fluttering in the wind. Together, they set off toward the lighthouse, braving the stormy seas. Chapter 2: Braving the Storm. The waves were enormous, and the wind was fierce, but Tim and Bucky pressed on. Bucky's small size allowed him to navigate through the rough waters with surprising agility. Tim steered with skill and precision, guiding Bucky toward the lighthouse. As they approached the lighthouse, they saw old Ben clinging to the beacon, struggling to keep it from toppling over. Tim shouted instructions to Bucky, who maneuvered closer to the lighthouse. "Hold on, old Ben. We're coming," Tim yelled. With great effort, Tim managed to secure a rope to the beacon. Bucky held steady as Tim and Old Ben worked together to fasten the beacon securely. It was a grueling task, but with determination and teamwork, they succeeded. Just as they finished, a massive wave loomed over them. Tim's heart raced, but Bucky faced the wave head-on. With a mighty effort, Bucky rode the wave, emerging on the other side unscathed. "We did it, Bucky." Tim cheered, his voice filled with pride. Old Ben, drenched but grateful, climbed aboard Bucky. "Thank you, Tim. You and Bucky saved the day." With the storm finally subsiding, Tim and Bucky sailed back to the harbor, where a crowd of sailors and villagers awaited their return. As they docked, the crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating their bravery. Chapter 3: A Hero's Welcome. Captain Gray rushed to the dock, embracing Tim and patting Bucky's hull. "I'm so proud of you both. You've proven that bravery comes in all sizes." From that day on, Bucky was no longer seen as just a small sailboat. He was a hero, admired by all in the harbor. Tim and Bucky became inseparable, embarking on many adventures together and exploring the wonders of the sea. They discovered hidden coves, encountered playful dolphins, and even sailed through a pod of majestic whales. Every adventure brought new challenges and discoveries, and Bucky proved time and again that he was as capable as any larger boat. Chapter 4: The Grand Expedition. One day, a grand expedition was announced. A fleet of ships was to set sail across the ocean to explore uncharted territories. The expedition would be led by Captain Gray, and the entire harbor buzzed with excitement. Tim's eyes sparkled with anticipation. "Dad, can Bucky and I join the expedition?" Captain Gray smiled. "Of course, Tim. Bucky has earned his place in the fleet. It wouldn't be the same without you both." As preparations began, Bucky was fitted with new sails and supplies for the long journey. The day of departure arrived, and the harbor was filled with well-wishers and cheering crowds. The fleet set sail, with Bucky leading the way alongside the larger ships. The journey was long and arduous, with days of calm seas and nights of fierce storms. They encountered new islands, each with its own unique beauty and mysteries. Tim and Bucky's courage and resourcefulness were tested time and again, but they faced every challenge with unwavering determination. One evening, as the sun set over the horizon, the fleet approached an island that was unlike any they had seen before. It was lush and green, with towering cliffs and a sparkling waterfall cascading into the sea. The island seemed to be untouched by human hands, a paradise waiting to be explored. Captain Gray called a meeting with the crew. "We'll anchor here for the night and explore the island at dawn. Keep your eyes and ears open. We don't know what we might find." Chapter 5: The Island of Wonders. The next morning, the crew set foot on the island, with Tim and Bucky eager to explore. They discovered a dense forest filled with exotic plants and colorful birds. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers, and the sound of the waterfall was soothing and mesmerizing. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon a hidden lagoon. The water was crystal clear, and beneath the surface, they saw a treasure trove of colorful coral reefs and vibrant marine life. Tim and Bucky marveled at the beauty of the lagoon, feeling as if they had stepped into a dream. Suddenly, they heard a rustling in the bushes. Tim's heart raced as he turned to see a group of islanders approaching. They were friendly and curious, intrigued by the visitors who had arrived on their shores. The islanders welcomed the crew and shared stories of their ancestors and the island's history. They spoke of a legendary treasure hidden deep within the island, a treasure that had been protected by the island's guardians for generations. Tim's eyes widened with excitement. A treasure? Do you think we could find it, Bucky? Bucky's flags fluttered in agreement, ready for another adventure. Chapter 6: The Quest for the Treasure. With the islanders' guidance, Tim and Bucky set off on a quest to find the legendary treasure. They navigated through dense jungles, crossed raging rivers, and climbed steep cliffs. The journey was fraught with challenges, but Tim and Bucky's determination never wavered. As they approached the heart of the island, they discovered an ancient temple hidden among the trees. The temple was adorned with intricate carvings and symbols, and at its center stood a massive stone door. Tim examined the carvings, realizing that they depicted a series of puzzles and clues. With Bucky's help, he carefully deciphered each clue, unlocking the secrets of the temple. After hours of solving puzzles, the stone door slowly creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber filled with glittering gold and precious jewels. Tim's eyes widened in awe as he stepped inside, marveling at the treasure that lay before them. "We did it, Bucky. We found the treasure," Tim exclaimed, his voice echoing in the chamber. As they gathered some of the treasure to bring back to the crew, Tim couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. He and Bucky had faced every challenge with bravery and determination, and their efforts had paid off. Chapter 7: A Hero's Return. Tim and Bucky returned to the fleet, their hearts full of joy and excitement. The crew celebrated their success, and the islanders thanked them for uncovering the treasure that had been hidden for generations. Captain Gray looked at his son with pride. "You've done it, Tim. You and Bucky have proven that true bravery and determination can overcome any obstacle." As the fleet set sail for home, Tim and Bucky stood at the bow of the ship, gazing out at the horizon. They knew that their journey was far from over and that many more adventures awaited them. When they returned to the harbor, they were greeted with cheers and applause from the villagers. Tim and Bucky's story became a legend, inspiring others to follow their dreams and face their fears with courage and determination. Epilogue: A legacy of bravery. Years passed, and Tim grew older, but his bond with Bucky remained as strong as ever. They continued to explore the seas, discovering new lands and sharing their adventures with others. Bucky's colorful flags and polished hull became a symbol of bravery and determination, reminding everyone that true adventure lies in the heart and spirit of those who dare to dream. As Tim and Bucky sailed into the sunset, they knew that their journey would never truly end. The world was vast and full of wonders, and together they would continue to explore, leaving a legacy of courage and inspiration for generations to come. And so, The brave little sailor and his trusty sailboat proved that no matter how small you may be, with determination and a courageous heart, you can achieve great things and embark on the most incredible adventures.